Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another video of our solving systems of equations. Today we're looking at something a little different now. We're going to be seeing these in different forms, and we're going to be solving by elimination. We've got three examples for us. So when we talk about solving by elimination, what does elimination mean? Well, elimination really, when we're talking about eliminating something or eliminating variables, that's really what we've been doing this whole time when we've been talking about things like this. When we've got something like 2x minus 4 equals 8. Well, we need to eliminate this negative 4, so we bring in the inverse of it, the opposite value. So it cancels and it goes to 0, right? We're bringing in something so that it will eliminate that piece of our equation so that we would only have this now 2x equals 12 left. And then you guys would have solved this by eliminating this 2 by doing the inverse. And you would have x equals 6. When we're talking about elimination, we're trying to cancel something out. Okay? So when you see something like 5 minus 5, that eliminates itself because it equals 0. Right? They cancel each other out. So what's happening with elimination to solve systems is what you're going to look for is the situation where an elimination is set to happen. So right now we're looking at these equations. For the first time, we're seeing them in what's called standard form. Okay, we've got the ax plus by equals 20. We're no longer looking at things where we have something like y equals 2x plus 5, and then we're going to substitute that in for a y somewhere. That was a substitution. Now elimination, they're going to be in this form, this standard form, and they're going to be lined up nicely. So what's happening is we are going to look for the situation where an elimination is set to happen, right? We can't solve for a variable until there's just one variable left. So we're really going to just combine these two equations from the top down, okay? So where does it look like an elimination is set up? Well, this 4x and negative 4x are set to cancel each other out. If I have 4 and I add a negative 4, they're going to eliminate each other to be 0, right? So if I have 4x and I add a negative 4x, still going to eliminate itself to be 0. When you have two things that are opposites of each other and they combine, they eliminate. They go to 0. They're gone. They're canceled. So what we're going to do is we are going to add all like terms. So we've got our 4x plus a negative 4x. And that's going to cancel out to be 0. Okay? It's glitching on me a little bit. It's going to cancel out to be 0. 4x plus negative 4x is 0. Now we've got this 8y lined up with another y term. We've got 8y plus a positive 2y. So adding these things down, 8y plus a positive 2y is going to give us 10 total y. So we have 10y, and then we're going to combine this 20 plus a negative 30. 20 plus negative 30, which is the same thing as just 20 minus 30, is going to equal negative 10. So you're going to end up with 10y equals negative 10. And now we're ready to solve for a variable. This elimination is going to go a little bit quicker than the substitution did for us because after just one step, we are ready to solve for a variable. Okay? So this 0 really, it's not doing anything. It's 0. It's gone. So all we're left with is this 10y equals negative 10y. So how do we solve that? Well, like we've been solving all along, you're going to just divide both sides by 10 to cancel that 10 out and get your y alone. Negative 10 divided by a positive 10 is going to end up giving you negative 1. So your y value is negative 1. And then the next step to go find your x, because remember, in these systems, your solutions are always an ordered pair xy. We're doing the same thing we did when we were talking about substitution. You're going to take your value that you found and go plug it in. Oh, that's cool. Didn't know I could do that. You're going to take, I don't know what to do. Okay. You're going to take the y that you found, and you're going to go plug it in for one of the y's in the equations up top. Okay, you're going to plug that in somewhere up top. Doesn't matter which equation you use. Let's use this top one. Glitching again. Come on. There we go. Let's use this top one again so that we are able to just focus on one thing here together. We're all going to look at this top one. So I've got a y of -1. So now I've got 4x plus 8. Now it's not going to be 8y. It's going to be 8 times that -1 equals 20. 4x, 8 times -1 is going to be -8 equals 20. 4x, now if I add 8 to both sides, they're going to cancel on the left hand side, and the right side is going to be 28. And then when I divide both sides by 4, I end up with x equaling 7. So my ordered pair for the final answer is going to be my x of 7 and my y of -1. And that would be your final answer. We're going to look at another one just like this without as much of a mess on the screen here so you guys can see this again. Okay, we're eliminating that first variable that has a match paired up with it, and then you're solving the same way that we would have done substitution really after the substitution was done. Okay, so let's look at the second problem. We've got x minus y equals 11 and 2x plus y equals 19. Well, again, let's look for that match right away. Where does it look like an elimination is set to happen right now? I would say right here with your y's. You have a -y and a positive y. Those are opposites of each other. They're going to cancel each other out to be 0. Okay? So again, let's add everything going down. We're just going to combine everything from top to bottom that has like terms. So this x plus a 2x, that's going to now be a total of 3x. We've got a -y plus a positive y. Those cancel to be the 0. -y plus y, they cancel each other out. Like -2 plus 2. They would be 0, right? Same thing. So -y plus y is going to be 0, which really you don't even have to be writing there if you don't want to. And then you've got this 11 plus a 19. 11 plus 19 is going to give you 30. So what you're left with is this equation of 3x equals 30. Only one step here to find your x. Divide both sides by 3. And your x equals 10. So that's 1/2 of your xy already taken care of. Okay, so now you're going to plug that in one of the equations up top, doesn't matter which one, and you're going to go find your y value. Let's do the top one. So I'm going to take this x of 10 and I'm going to plug it in right there. So instead of x minus y equals 11, I'm going to have 10 minus y equals 11. Okay, so then I'm going to end up with, hold on a sec. Yeah, no, this is right. Okay, sorry. So then I'm going to end up by subtracting 10 from both sides because I want to eliminate or cancel that 10. Now I've got -y equals 1. And then we have to make it a positive y, so just divide by -1. So that cancels, and 1 divided by -1 is going to be -1. So your y equals -1 here. So your final answer has the x of 10, the y of -1, and you end up with the ordered pair 10, -1. Okay. Now this next one, I'm just going to show you the first couple steps, and then everything else will be the same as we've already done. Okay. So this third equation, this third system, I should say, what do we notice right now? Well, the two matches that we had over here, right here, this y and -y, 4x and -4x, first two times so far, they've already been inverses of each other. We've had a positive and a negative of the same thing. Here, we want to say that we see a match in the y column, but they're both negative. Negative 9y plus another negative 9y is going to give me negative 18y. That doesn't cancel out. So what we have to have happen is one has to be a positive, one has to be a negative. Okay, so a simple fix to that is that I'm just going to multiply this entire bottom equation by a negative. Really all that does is just changes this to addition, changes this to addition, and changes this to addition. If you multiply something by a negative, it just switches all the signs. So now, when this is our equation, now I have that negative 9y plus y, plus 9y. Okay, now I have negative 9y plus 9y, which is going to equal 0 for me. Now I have a situation where I can cancel. So if you've got a situation where you look like you have a match, but they have the same sign, where they're not going to cancel each other, just multiply that bottom one by negatives, and it will switch all their signs. Now you're looking at the exact same thing that we've been doing. You're going to just add from top to bottom. So negative 2x plus 4x will be a positive 2x. Negative 2 plus 4 is positive 2. Negative 9y plus 9y, that's going to end up being that 0, which you really don't even need to write in there. And then negative 25 plus 23, negative 25 plus 23, if you need to use a calculator, that's fine. It's going to be negative 2. So when you divide by 2, your x would be negative 1. And then you would take that x, plug it in up here for one of these two, and go ahead and find your y. The same exact thing that we did in problems 1 and 2. So the only difference with this type of problem is that first step that has to happen where you switch all the signs in the bottom equation. If they're a positive, it'll switch to a negative. If it's a negative, it'll switch to a positive. It's multiplying by a negative so that you can combine and they will cancel. Okay? So I know we talked through each of those kind of quick. It was just about 3 or 4 minutes a problem. You have a chance to pause this video at any spot and watch that process through, go back, rewind, rewatch it, whatever. But all your problems are going to look just like these three. Whether you can combine right away like 1 and 2, or if you have to multiply the bottom by a negative first and then combine the same exact way. Okay? Tomorrow I think is going to be pretty close to the exact same thing as this. So you've got not tomorrow, but your next day. So you got a couple days to work on this here with solving systems by elimination. And obviously, if you have any questions, let myself know, let Ms. Mickelson know. We haven't had a ton of people hopping on the videos when we have that chat time with you guys. So let us know if you got questions. We can make those things happen for you. We can figure that stuff out. I can put this whiteboard right on the video call, and we can be going through problems together. So whatever you need, let us know. Good luck, and we'll see you later.